Tip Top 10s brings top 10 scary facts about artificial intelligence. We are within the fourth industrial revolution, which is characterized by advances in robotics and self-driving automobile know-how, the proliferation of sensible dwelling home equipment, and extra. On the forefront of all these is synthetic intelligence, AI, which is the event of automated PC methods that might match, and even surpass people in intelligence. AI is considered the following massive factor, so massive that future applied sciences shall be depending on it. However then, do we actually know what we are getting ourselves into? Listed below are: Number 10. Your self-driving automobile would possibly be programmed to kill you. Let's assume you're driving down a street. Then, a bunch of youngsters immediately seam in entrance of your automobile. You hit the brakes, however they don't work. Now, you've two choices. The primary is to run over the youngsters and save your life. The second is to swerve into a close-by wall or bollard, thus saving the youngsters, however killing yourself. Which might you choose? Most individuals agree they'll swerve into the bollard and kill themselves. Now think about that your automobile is self-driving, and also you're the passenger. Would you continue to need it to swerve into the bollard and kill you? Most individuals who agreed they might swerve into the bollard in the event that they have been the motive force additionally agreed that they might not need their self-driving automobile to swerve into the bollard and kill them. The truth is, they receive it even purchase such automobile in the event that they knew it might intentionally put them in danger in an accident. This takes us to a different query. What would the vehicles do? The vehicles will do what they have been programmed to do. As issues are, makers of self-driving vehicles aren't speaking. Most, like Apple, Ford, and Mercedes-Benz, tactfully dodge the query at each occasion. And government of Daimler AG, the mum or dad firm of Mercedes-Benz, as soon as said that their self-driving vehicles would defend the passenger in any respect prices. Nevertheless, Mercedes-Benz refuted this, stating that their automobiles are constructed to make sure that such a dilemma by no means occurs. That's ambiguous as a result of everyone knows that such conditions will occur. Google got here clear on this, and stated its self-driving vehicles would keep away from hitting unprotected street customers and transferring issues. This implies the automobile would hit the bollard and kill the motive force. Google additional clarifies that within the occasion of an impending accident, its self-driving vehicles would hit the smaller of any two automobiles. The truth is, Google self-driving vehicles is perhaps in search of to be nearer to smaller objects always. Google presently has a patent on a know-how that makes its self-driving vehicles transfer away from greater vehicles and towards smaller vehicles, whereas on the street. Number 9. Robots would possibly demand rights simply like people. With the present trace in AI, It's doable that robots will attain a stage of self-realization. When that occurs, they could demand for his or her rights, as in the event that they have been people. They'll require housing and well-being care advantages, and demand to be allowed to vote, serve within the army, and be granted citizenship. In return, governments would make them pay taxes. That is based on a joint examine by the UK Workplace of Science and Innovation's Horizon Scanning Middle. This analysis was reported by the BBC in 2006, when AI was far much less superior, and it was carried out to invest the technological developments they is perhaps seeing in 50 years' time. Does this imply that machines will begin demanding citizenship in about 40 years? Solely time will inform. Number 8. Computerized killer robots are in use. Once we say computerized killer robots, we imply robots that may kill without the interference of people. Drones don't depend as a result of they're managed by folks. One of many computerized killer robots we are speaking about is the Scariest, a sentry gun collectively developed by Samsung Techwin, now referred to as Hanwha Techwin, and Korea College. The Scariest resembles an enormous surveillance digicam. Besides that, it has a high-powered machine gun that may robotically lock onto and kill any goal of curiosity. The Scariest is already in use in Israel and South Korea, which has put in a number of items alongside its demilitarized zone (DMZ) with North Korea. South Korea denies activating the auto mode that enables the machine resolve who to kill and who to not kill. As an alternative, the machine is in a semi-automatic mode. The place it detects targets and requires the approval of a human operator to execute a kill. Number 7. Conflict robots can swap sides. In 2011, Iran captured an extremely secretive RQ-170 Sentinel stealth drone from the USA Army, intact. That final phrase is important, as a result of it means the drone was not shot down. Iran claims it compelled the drone to land after spoofing its GPS sign and making it assume it was in pleasant territory. Some US consultants declare this isn't true. However, then, the drone wasn't shot down. So what occurred? For all we all know, Iran might be telling the reality. Drones, GPS, and robots are all based mostly on computer systems, and as everyone knows, computer systems do get hacked. Conflict robots can be no completely different in the event that they ever make it to the battlefield. The truth is, there's each chance that the enemy military would make an attempt to hack them and use them in opposition to the identical military fielding them. Autonomous killer robots aren't, but in widespread use, so now we have by no means seen any hacked. Nevertheless, think about a military of robots immediately switching allegiance on the battlefield, and turning in opposition to their very own masters. Or think about North Korea hacking these SGR-1 sentry weapons on the DMZ, and utilizing them in opposition to South Korean troopers. Number 6. Russia is utilizing bots to unfold propaganda on Twitter. Bots are taking up Twitter. Analysis by the College of Southern California and Indiana College has indicated that about 15%, 48 million, of all Twitter accounts are operated by bots. Twitter insists that the determine is around 8.5%. To be clear, not all these bots are unhealthy. Some are literally helpful. As an illustration, there are bots that inform folks of pure disasters. Nevertheless, there are some which can be getting used for propaganda, most particularly by Russia. Russia remains to be within the information for utilizing these bots to sow discord amongst US voters and sway them towards voting for Donald Trump throughout the 2016 election. One other little reported incident is Russia utilizing these bots to sway UK voters into voting to depart the European Union throughout the 2016 Brexit referendum. Days earlier than the referendum, greater than 150,000 Russian bots, which had beforehand focused on tweets regarding the conflict in Ukraine and Russia's annexation of Crimea, immediately began churning out pro-Brexit tweets encouraging the UK to depart the EU. These bots dispatched about 45,000 pro-Brexit tweets inside 2 days of the referendum. However, the tweets fell to virtually zero instantly after the referendum. What's worse is that Russia additionally makes use of these identical bots to get Twitter to ban journalists who expose its intensive use of bots for propaganda. As soon as Russia detects an article reporting the existence of the bots, it finds the creator's Twitter webpage and will get its bots to comply with the creator en masse, till Twitter bans the creator's account on suspicion of being operated by a bot. The worst is that Russia has severely improved on its bot sport. Lately, it has moved from utilizing full bots to utilizing cyborgs, accounts which can be collectively operated by people and bots. This has made it tougher for Twitter to detect and ban these accounts. Number 5. Machines will take our jobs. Little doubt, machines will take over our jobs someday. Nevertheless, what we don't understand is when they'll take over, and to what extent. Nicely, as we're about to seek out, it's to a big extent. In line with high consultancy and auditing agency PricewaterhouseCoopers, PwC, robots will take over 21% of the roles in Japan, 30% of jobs in the UK, 35% of jobs in Germany, and 38% of jobs in the USA by the year 2030. By the following century, they'll have taken over greater than half of the roles accessible to people. Probably the most affected sector shall be transportation and storage, The place 56% of the workforce shall be machines. That is adopted by the manufacturing and retail sectors. The place machines will take over 46 and 44% of all accessible jobs. Speaking about when, it's speculated that machines shall be driving vans by 2027, and manning retail shops by 2031. By 2049, they'll be writing books, and by 2053, they'll be performing surgical procedure. Solely few professions shall be freed from the machine incursion. One is the position of a church minister, which might stay free, not as a result of, a machine can't run a church, however as a result of most individuals receive it approve of being preached to by a robotic. Number 4. Robots have realized to be deceitful. In human style, robots are studying to be deceitful. In a single experiment, researchers on the Georgia Institute of Expertise in Atlanta developed an algorithm that allowed robots to resolve whether or not, or to not deceive different people or robots. If the robots determined to take the route of deceit, the researchers included an algorithm to permit the robotic resolve tips on how to deceive the folks and robots, whereas decreasing the chance that the particular person or robotic being deceived will ever discover out. Within the experiment, a robotic was given some sources to protect. It ceaselessly checked on the sources, however began visiting false areas every time it detected the presence of one other robotic within the space. This experiment was sponsored by the USA Workplace for Naval Analysis, which suggests it may need Army purposes. Robots guarding Army provides might change their patrol routes in the event that they have been being watched by enemy forces. In one other experiment, this time on the École Polytechnique Fédérale of Lausanne in Switzerland, scientists created 1,000 robots and divided them into 10 teams. The robots have been required to search for a good useful resource in a chosen space, whereas they're averted hanging round a unhealthy useful resource. Every robotic had a blue mild, which it flashed to draw different members of its group every time it discovered the great useful resource. One of the best 200 robots have been taken from this primary experiment, and their algorithms have been crossbred to create a brand new era of robots. The robots improved on discovering the great useful resource. Nevertheless, this led to congestion as different robots crowded across the prize. The truth is, issues obtained so unhealthy that the robotic that discovered the useful resource was typically pushed away from its discover 500 generations later. The robots realized to maintain their lights off every time they discovered the great useful resource. This was to forestall congestion and the chance that they might be dispatched away if different members of the group joined them. On the identical time, different robots developed to seek out the mendacity robots. By in search of areas that place robots converged with their lights off, which is the precise reverse of what they have been programmed to do. Number 3. The AI market is being monopolized. The AI market is being monopolized. Greater firms are shopping for smaller AI startups at an alarming charge. With the present pattern, we'd find yourself with AI that's managed by a really small variety of companies. As of October 2016, studies indicated that firms like Apple, Facebook, Intel, Twitter, Samsung, and Google had bought 140 synthetic intelligence companies over 5 years. Within the first 3 months of 2017, massive tech firms purchased 34 AI startups. Worse, they're additionally paying big bucks to rent the highest students within the area of synthetic intelligence. If this stays unchecked, you may guess the place we are heading. Number 2. AI will exceed people in reasoning and intelligence. Synthetic intelligence is classed into 2 teams, sturdy and weak AI. The AI around us at this time are labeled as weak AI. This contains supposedly superior AIs like sensible assistants and computer systems, which have been defeating chess masters since 1987. The distinction between sturdy and weak AI is the power to motive and behave like a human mind. Weak AI typically do what they have been programmed to do, no matter how refined that process may appear to us. Sturdy AI, on the different finish of the spectrum, has the consciousness and reasoning means of people. It's not restricted by the scope of its programming, and might resolve what to do and what to not do without human enter. Sturdy AI doesn't exist for now, however scientists predict they need to be around in 10 years' time. Number 1. AI might destroy us. There are fears that the world may find yourself in an AI apocalypse, simply because it occurred within the Terminator movie franchise. The warnings that AI may destroy us aren't coming from some random scientist or conspiracy theorist, however, from eminent professionals like Stephen Hawking, Elon Musk, and Invoice Gates. Invoice Gates thinks AI will grow to be too clever to stay beneath our management. Stephen Hawking shares the identical opinion. He doesn't assume AI will immediately go berserk in a single day. Reasonably, he believes machines will destroy us by changing into too competent at what they do. Our battle with AI will start the second their objectives are not aligned with ours. Elon Musk has in contrast the proliferation of AI to summoning the demon. He believes it's the largest menace to humanity. To stop the AI apocalypse, he has proposed that governments begin regulating the event of AI earlier than for-profit firms do one thing very silly.